Pop culture frequently romanticizes the Wild West era, conjuring up images of saloons, dusty streets, and bold gunslingers fighting ferociously. These fights are central to the mythology of the Wild West, giving rise to many false beliefs. But now is the moment to disentangle fantasy from reality and clarify the facts behind Wild West duels. But before proceeding to the video, please make sure to subscribe to Roots and press the bell icon so you never miss any videos from Roots. Let's proceed to the video. Myth number 1. Showdown at high noon were typical. Despite what is often believed, the traditional high noon showdowns were not common. While it may be iconic to see two opponents sprinting at one another in the midst of a lonely street, most duels were spontaneous and never had a prearranged plan. Due to the intense nature of these interactions, duels were typically unplanned events rather than carefully thought-out situations. Myth number 2. Duels were fought to the death. Reality. Although duels in the Wild West were unquestionably risky and potentially fatal, they weren't invariably fatal. This was caused by a number of circumstances, including the widespread use of faulty weaponry and poor marksmanship. Shooters frequently missed their targets or simply caused non-lethal injuries. Moreover, the purpose of a duel was to demonstrate one's bravery and reputation rather than necessarily to kill. Many times, duels came to an end when one or both fighters sustained injuries. Myth number 3. The ability to draw quickly was essential for survival. Reality. It's a myth that the fastest draw ever prevailed. Though obviously crucial, quick draw abilities were only one facet of a proficient gunslinger's skill set. Equally important were accurate aim, situation awareness, and the capacity to remain composed under duress. In addition, placement and tactics were often more important in gunfights than fast draws. Myth number 4. Women don't often take part in dueling. Reality. Women did engage in duels with males, despite the fact that male gunslingers are frequently the main characters in Wild West tales. Women did get into arguments that resulted in gunshots. However, they weren't as frequent as their male counterparts. Famous people who were known to carry guns and defend themselves when needed, such as Belle Starr and Pearl Hart, disproved the idea that duels were only for men. Myth number 5. Dueling was a common dispute resolution process. Reality. In the Wild West, duels were not the main means of settling disputes, unlike how they are portrayed in popular culture. Gunfights inside city borders were forbidden by officials, since communities valued stability and order. Dueling was discouraged in favor of legal frameworks, societal conventions, and even more nonviolent dispute resolution techniques like arbitration and negotiations. Myth number 6. Not everyone owned a gun. While many ranchers and early settlers did possess guns or rifles, not every person in the Old West carried a firearm with them at all times. In many Western cities, carrying a gun inside the city limits was strictly forbidden due to gun regulations. In Tombstone, it was illegal and punished by law to carry a gun. Myth number 7. Indian predators were the primary cause of death. Reality. The major causes of illness-related death were eating food that was improperly cooked, drinking water that was polluted, and generally maintaining poor hygiene. Death via an arrow or gunshot was less common in the Old West than dying on a bed or cot. Myth number 8. Each person resided in a home or cabin. Reality. Many individuals lived in canvas tents, and some of them did so for their whole lives. Cabins and houses were reserved for the wealthy, which was not the majority of people. Myth number 9. People had time to hang out in saloons all day. Reality. It's obvious that a Western movie is a fiction when it features cowboys or outlaws in the middle of the day, unless it's a Saturday. The majority of folks didn't have time to visit the bar during the day since they had to work at least 6 days a week, simply to make ends meet. Not only that, but most individuals didn't have a lot of money to drink. That was the only time that saloons were crowded, on weekends and in the evenings. Myth number 10. The cowboy was a respected role. Reality. Actually, it was an Old West fast food worker's job. Hollywood screenwriters wrote about the Old West based on their reading of dime store novels or viewing of older motion pictures. The majority of positions depicted as cowboys were really filled by ranch hands, a far higher class position. Real cowboys were poorly compensated and had brief, brutal lives. There wasn't much money for retirement, and a lot of people who had neither savings nor property perished in poverty. Decades of narrative and film have contributed to the mythology surrounding Wild West duels. Even while these stories undoubtedly capture our attention, it's important to understand the actual history behind them. Wild West duels were hazardous, complicated, and frequently motivated by more than just sheer bravery. We may comprehend this fascinating period of history and the complex individuals who influenced it better when we acknowledge the truths hidden beneath the myths. These were a few myths from the Wild West. We hope you liked this video. If really, then please make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon so you never miss any video from Roots. If you want to watch more videos on Wild West and many other topics, then please visit our Wild West playlist on your top right corner. Thanks for watching.